Welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to the Viks. My name is Viks, Mhlangana, but you know I call myself Viks. And this is Bright Tibane, and this is the channel, the Viks. I think before we even get to anything, you know what you guys need to do before you even watch this video. You need to subscribe, you need to like, you need to comment on my videos, and just engage, guys. You know we love engagement on this channel, and this is the platform to do exactly that. Today, I have a very exciting guest. Bright is a partner at Bowmans, and guys, if I have to tell you how many times I tried to schedule a this thing with Bright, you won't believe me, but it doesn't matter because he's here and he's sitting us up today. So, Bright, welcome to my channel, finally. I hope you're not nervous. Please don't be nervous. Please be chilled the way I know you to be chilled, to be humble guy, ne? Chilled vibes. I think, you know, Bright, I always start my videos with why do I invite someone on my channel, right? I've gotten a lot of people on my channel. Some people, it's people that inspire me. Some people, it's my friends that are doing big things. And with you, I don't even know, like, what if there's one particular reason why I've invited you to my channel. But I think if I had to point out a reason, it's just, you know, your story. Your story is very inspirational to people at Bowmans. And I think for me, when I first heard your story, it was inspirational to me. So I think it's important for people to be able to hear your story and to draw inspiration from your story, because I think it's very powerful, right? And a lot of people don't know it because you never want to do interviews, but here we are today, right? So Bright, we're gonna start, I want us to start from the very beginning, like where you come from. Tell me about your background. Utswakai, who is Bright, without necessarily speaking about Bowmans? Who is Bright?
So Bright is a villager. I grew up in the village called Islington, based in Bushbuckridge.
Okay.
I grew up in that village. I went to the public crèche.
Yes.
I went to the public primary school. I went to the public secondary school.
Yes.
And from there, I went to one of the historically disadvantaged universities called the University of Limpopo, Teflop campus.
Yes.
That's when.
Before we even get there, Bright, ne? So you are sitting in what? Let's say grade 11 matric.
Yeah.
What are you, when you're thinking about your career, like what do you want to do? Like when you're sitting as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old student, what are you thinking? Like, what is the big dream for Bright? Where does Bright want to end up? And how does the dream of law come into the picture?
Yeah. So, of course, in the village, you grow up with no motivation. There aren't a lot of people going to varsities or being professionals.
Yeah.
So you grow up with a mindset of just passing your matric and then going to work for one of those mines or firms as a general worker.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality I grew up with. That's why if you look at my subjects, were mixed up.
Yeah. And mixed up in what way? What did you take? Like, what were your subjects?
Like, it was economics, history, business, and and those the other ones were languages. But the point is, I was trying to stay away from mathematics, physical science, because I didn't see myself at varsity post-matric. I saw myself as a general worker somewhere, because there wasn't that motivation. Things changed when I was in matric, and I did matric twice, by the way.
What?
So
I didn't know this, Bright.
Exactly.
Hi, boo.
That's the story of my life. So the first time I did matric, I still had no motivation. It was just to pass my matric.
Just to get through.
And then I did well. It was not great, but well in my first year. That was 2005.
So this is your first year of your matric?
First year of my matric. And I got what we used to call exemption then, which could qualify you to go to varsity. But of course, with scores, I couldn't qualify to do some of these good courses.
Yeah.
And then that's when I realized I got potential because of all the standard 9 or is it grade 11 learners that I went to grade 12 with. I was the only one who got exemption. So
Wait. I don't understand. In your school?
From grade 11 to grade 12.
Yes.
Of all the learners in grade 12 that came from grade 11 to grade 12 with me.
Yes.
I was the only one who got the exemption.
In the whole school?
In the whole school, but not counting those who were repeating.
Okay.
So I was like, it looks, I got the potential.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I started getting motivation from my teachers as well. They saw potential.
Yes.
And I said, with these results, I can be a journalist. I think I can go to one of the colleges and do journalism.
Okay.
And then I started thinking of that. The other part of my heart says, these results aren't that good. And now that you are motivated, why can't you go and do matric again?
Okay. So it wasn't like you failed matric.
No, I didn't.
You just wanted to improve your marks. Okay.
Exactly. Especially my English wasn't great.
Okay.
And yeah, I went back to the varsity, so to matric. People were criticizing me. This man's got exemption. Why is he back?
Who's these people? Is it your parents? Is it your teachers? Who?
Some of the teachers.
Yes.
Some were learners.
Yeah.
And then I said I want to improve my marks because now I feel like I can go to varsity. I feel like I can make it there.
Yes.
And then I went back with the mentality of improving my marks to do journalism. And now I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go to varsity, one of the varsities that offer that course. And this history teacher of mine, Mr. Nyudane.
You even remember his name?
Yeah.
Yes.
During the course of that second year of my matric.
When you were repeating the matric?
Yes.
Okay.
He said to me, I think you can be a good lawyer. I was like, I doubt. It's like, you're promising. You are doing well. I think you will do well in law. And then it started motivating me.
Yeah.
My man, keep pushing.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I started to have that attitude and that approach that now I'm going to do law. That guy even went to the extent of applying for me. He assisted me with applications. I remember he had applied at the University of Venda for me. Physically or in person.
He went there to take...
He went there, of course it's from Venda, but he went there to deliver my application.
Yeah.
The University of Limpopo, I made the application myself, but he assisted with completing that application and with the necessaries. And they both accepted me or accepted my applications. Then it was for me to
Then you were going
hard.
to law school.
And it was tough. And my father was just a general mine worker. I had 5 siblings. So it wasn't that easy for him. He wouldn't be able to afford all of us
to go to university.
Yeah. And the other thing, even to support us, it's one of those those typical fathers who feel like they don't have to provide much as long as they can buy your food, it's enough. So I had extra businesses. I was like a cameraman, I remember. At some point I was a barber. And
so you were just hustling?
I was hustling.
Yes.
I even used to repair shoes. And that was to help me try to make living and push. But the camera man business worked very well, helped me.
So wait, when is this, Bright? Is this while you're in university or before you go to varsity?
We're talking about the secondary school. Yeah. That's when I was at secondary school. So I wasn't even working that hard in terms of studying, simply because I had all these other businesses trying to make money, to make a living, buy myself clothes. I used to buy myself clothes as a learner, was a secondary school learner. So all these things featured along the way, and my matric was mixed up with that business, but I kept pushing.
Yeah.
Because now I had a goal, and I had that history teacher behind me, pushing me.
Yeah.
I worked.
Okay, so then you repeat matric, and you then apply, you get accepted, right?
Yeah.
You're going to University of Limpopo now, right? But now, before we even get to University of Limpopo, you're telling us, Jorge, you had to start supporting yourself as a high schooler, right?
Yeah.
So now, what are you thinking about when you're thinking about things like funding in university? How did that work? Did you think about those concerns, Jorge? How would I manage university fees? And how would I make it through university without necessarily having the funding from your parents?
That's a great question. So we used to have people from, like a few people who went to varsities coming to us, coming back to school to tell us about their progress at schools, at varsities, colleges, but none of them, to my recollection, ever mentioned that there are like fundings like NSFAS at varsity. So in my mind, I always thought that my parents had to pay for my varsity fees.
Yes.
And I knew my father would struggle, but I thought God will make a way. And I remember when I spoke to my dad said, man, I can't afford the varsity fees. And it took this history teacher I'm talking about to come to our village to speak to my dad and try to convince him that please do something for this young man. He's got a talent. He can be one of your pillars one day. And he came, he drove to our place, he spoke to my dad, and my dad was convinced. I didn't, even today, my dad won't forget that man. He always ask me about him. So that was that. My dad said, it's fine, I will do all I can to help you. We will do the registrations if necessary, even with paying for fees.
Yes.
And that's how
so that's how you thought, okay, fine, varsity fees are sorted out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then you get to university. At which point did you find out about NEFSAS and decide, okay, let me go for this NEFSAS route, or how did you manage to do the funding in university? In the end.
So when I applied to varsity, I had an option to apply for residence on campus.
Yeah.
But because I knew my dad wasn't gonna
afford it,
I didn't. So I was staying off camp. At University of Limpopo, it's like in a weird area, Teflop. It's a Kasi sort of. So there are like rooms there, cheap rooms you can rent
off campus. Yes.
So that's where I stayed until after 1 month or so, somebody mentioned this NSFAS thing.
After 1 month after you're already in university.
I was like, there's this thing that that helps. I was like, what is it? And then he explained to me, and I went to their offices. I applied. And they accepted my application. I was like, oh, was this possible? And then I called my dad and told him, look, you are lucky, older man. You're not going to pay fees. I've got an NSFAS here.
Yes.
And that's how
it happened. Okay, fine. So now you're in university, and okay, fine. So you do your first year and your second year. But just by the way, when did you start considering like applying for articles, or how did the thought of applying for articles ever come to your mind? And the reason why I ask you that question is that, you know, for us, like I went to Wits, obviously you guys know.
Yeah.
For us, like Bowmans, all your big firms, all these NGOs, they will come to Wits for career fairs to tell you about these opportunities that they have. So that's how I started knowing about articles. And actually, to be honest with you, I knew before, right? But that's kind of, a lot of people get to know that information through those career fairs. So So what was your plan? So you went to university to study law. What was your plan? Did you think that you were going to end up in Big Five law firm, or did you think you're going to be a prosecutor or a magistrate somewhere? What was your plan when you said, okay, I'm going to do law, but what was your plan before the Bowmans thing came or the articles thing came into the picture?
Yeah. So it's key to understand that coming from my background, first you don't know the different areas of law.
Yes.
You think a lawyer is a criminal lawyer who wakes up at 7:30, goes to court at 8:30, 4:30 is closed, and then there's life.
Yes.
So that's the mentality I had, that I would be that type of a lawyer. But when I got to university, I started getting exposed to this thing. I realized there are other areas of laws. And there are big law firms. And I never knew about big law firms until I was at TAF. And even there, the only law firm that was sort of seen as the biggest was Adams and Adams.
Okay.
Because they were everywhere. Those ones were even advertised on TV, if I'm not mistaken. So it was easy to know about them.
Yes.
The rest, Bowmans and the rest, were not known.
Yes.
And there was this guy, Mohao. Mohao, I know him very well. I think he's at APSA now. But at the time I was working for Viksmans.
Okay.
That is the guy who opened my eyes.
Really?
Because he was from there.
He was from Limpopo?
From the University of Limpopo.
Okay.
And then we used to have this, the Black Lawyers Association events that they invited him. He came to speak.
Yes.
He told us about these big law firms. And
I
was like, oops.
What's this thing?
What is these big law firms? And he gave us like a thorough explanation of how they work, what they do. I remember he was a banking and finance lawyer at Viksmans. And then he opened my eyes. And I think it was a bit too late.
Why are you saying that?
I was doing my third year already.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is great. I remember out of that session, I went straight to computer lab.
Yes.
To try and find out about these big law firms.
Yes.
And I could see, oh, indeed, it's right. They are, and it wasn't selfish or anything. He told us about all of them.
Okay.
So he didn't focus on Viksmans. Like, guys, there are opportunities out there.
Yes.
And I went to look for them. And then I remember at that time, they had closed applications. And one thing I should mention is, after that man spoke to us, I was like, I want to be a commercial lawyer. I don't want to do criminal law. And I said, I want to work for a bank. I want to be a legal advisor to one of these banks.
Yes.
I remember my friends used to laugh at me. But are you going crazy?
Where?
These big law firms don't take people like you. They go to Wits, they go to UCT.
But you see, this is why, sorry to pose you, Bright, but this is exactly why, for me, doing this video is so important, because a lot of the times, the one question, and I told you, remember when I was trying to motivate for you to to be on this chair, I literally said, a lot of the times people say, hi, Tidi, I'm from the University of Limpopo, or I'm from Fort Hare, or I'm from all these other universities. Does Bowmans even consider people from those universities? And I'm like, guys, there's Bright in our firm. He's from UL. And it's it's easy to say Bright exists, but if people don't see, there's someone from my village that left my village and went to Bowmans and is successful at Bowmans, they'll never believe you, even if you say Bright is there, you know what I mean? And so that's why, sorry to interrupt you. So so your friends were laughing at you. Why do you even think this is an opportunity for you?
Exactly, because most people, or the mentality that is in there, or the notion, it's whoever studies there will be a criminal lawyer or labor lawyer one day, or a prosecutor. Or
RAF.
RAF. Yeah. That's how they see themselves. If you start telling them about being an M&A lawyer, banking and finance lawyer, to them it's a shock. You've gone crazy. And I can't mention the names, but I remember these two guys laughing at me like a young man. You are wasting your time because they used to have this, is it mock trial things, criminal law mock trials. They ask, aren't you coming? I said, I'm not interested. I'm not a criminal lawyer. Like, so then, what are you? I was like, I am a commercial. I see myself as one of them. And I started to grow that mentality. And that was after Mohao spoke to us.
At that event, yes.
At that event.
Yes.
And I remember when I was doing my final year, after writing first semester exams.
Yes.
I had it all time. Because now I had started to concern myself as to where am I going to go after
next year, basically.
Next year.
Yes.
I was like, okay, now I'm done with exams. I'm not rushing to go home. That means this time to look for articles. I went online. Bowmans applications were open. I applied for straight interview.
Yeah.
Put the application and it went through.
Okay.
As a final year student.
Yeah.
After writing first.
So literally you had
exam.
6 months left.
6 months left.
To finish your degree.
I doubt Bowmans take such kind of people.
Yes. No, we all know they don't.
They don't.
But don't, yeah.
I didn't know, of course. I was like,
I'm applying anyway.
I'm applying.
Yes.
I sent an application. And
so, Bright, just before you go there, like, so you sent the application because you were confident you wanted to be a corporate lawyer, right?
Exactly.
But when you looked at your transcript, like, were you an A student? Were you a B student? Were you a C student? What kind of a student were you? And the reason why I ask that is because a lot of the times there's that perception that big law firms only take like people that are A's and plus A's, basically, right? Yeah. And I mean, to an extent, that is true. Like most people that I hear are people that did really, really well in varsity. But I know it's not like a blanket. If you are a C student, they will definitely not take you. So for clarity, where would you put yourself at the time when you were applying? So after June exams, what student were you?
I was one of the top students.
That's why I'm asking the question.
I was
yes.
one. And the reason I was one of the top students because I was smart. I wasn't smart. If I can show you my matric results compared to varsity, you would think somebody was cooking my varsity marks.
It's not the same person.
You will never think that.
Yes.
But when I got to varsity, I was scared that if I don't work extra hard, I will humiliate myself. Because I remember queuing on the registration, is it line to, it was a registration that line or queue. I was seeing people's statements, very good results, very good results. I was like, is this what I'm facing? And as now I have to work extra hard in order to at least
even
keep up
with
match.
Those, yes.
Otherwise,
yes.
I will be in the bottom 5 or bottom 2.
Yes, yes.
And that's how it started. I started working hard from first year.
Yeah.
I worked very hard. I will study ahead. I wouldn't wait for
exam or test.
I will study ahead. And surprisingly, I was beating those people. Second year, first year, I was the top student of about like 400 students. And
what?
Yeah.
But you see, I'm getting a little bit emotional now because I feel like your story is so similar to mine, so similar. When I look at my matric marks, my mom used to say, like, when you sent me your marks from varsity, I was like, when I got back to university, because this is not the same person, you know what I mean? Exactly. But I really think that, Bright, you know, when you have a goal, and you're like, God, I don't have an option but to make it. You will work like you've never worked in your life. Exactly. And that's why, because you knew you don't want, first of all, you don't want to humiliate yourself, but secondly, like you knew if you don't make it, where are you going back? Where am I in Pela?
You've tested the poverty.
You tasted the poverty, you know what I mean? So you knew exactly. But yeah, so you then applied at Bowmans, and then what happened? When did you hear from them? What happened?
I applied.
Yeah.
I applied and then went home.
Yes, okay.
within a week,
Yeah.
when I was in the village, I got a call from
Thabiseng.
Thabiseng.
I remember her. I remember her.
Thabiseng, what? We've got your application.
Yeah.
We see you've applied for straight interview. We've got a VAC opportunity coming was it next week or in the next 2 weeks? Are you able to come? I was like, why not? But it's fine if you're interested. I will do the bookings. I will book the place for you, the flight for you. For the very first time, I had to catch a flight.
Haibo. And it was through Bowmans.
It was through Bowmans.
Haibo, guys.
That's why I'm so loyal to Bowmans.
I can see.
And yeah, that's what she did. She booked me a flight from Limpopo, Polokwane to Joburg.
Yes.
And was it bed and breakfast place around Sandton. For the first time. And I was like, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And she invited me, I came.
Okay, so now you in Sandton, maybe it's like Africa's biggest square mile, I think that's what it's called. But you're in Sandton and you're about to start this journey, right, of VAC work. And this is your first time doing VAC work, I guess?
Exactly.
Okay, so Bright, you get here first day at Bowmans. And the first thing, I'm sure, and I remember you told me the story, you've seen people from UCT, from Wits, from UP, nobody from University of Limpopo. You are the only one.
Exactly.
What are your impressions on that day?
It was scary, to be honest. Very scary. And before I came, I had a friend who came from the University of Limpopo for interviews or VAC work, I think it was previous year.
Yes.
And she didn't make it.
Okay.
So she told me the story. I was like, oops. And for me, I regarded it as more smarter than myself.
Than you, okay.
Yeah. I was like, if she didn't make it, will I make it? So I started to doubt myself, but I said, and that helped me because I started preparing for interviews like few months or immediately after
Thabiseng called you.
I had the notebook. I still have it. If you want to see it, I can show you.
You still have the notebook of preparing?
Preparing. I will keep that one for my grandchildren to see. So I started preparing, and then we get here. Seeing those vets guys, UCT, speaking very fancy. I was like Maui. And yeah, but I was confident because of the preparations that I had done.
Beforehand, yes.
Beforehand.
But that's so, like for me, that I've never heard anybody say that they prepare for VAC work. Like even when I went to VAC work, I didn't prepare. It was like, it's just an opportunity to learn. But because you wanted this so bad, you even prepared for something that you've never even experienced before.
I prepared.
Wow.
I prepared, and it was time for interviews. I did very well. I was very proud of myself. I remember doing these group discussions or round table interviews. I will answer questions that VETS people will never answer, UCT people will never answer. And I did very well. I remember those interviews were the best in my life. And I think I shined there. And those who interviewed me liked me.
And you got a job at Bowmans.
After that VAC work, of course they paid us.
Yes.
They paid us. It was great. For the first time I had to get money, to receive such kind of money into my bank account. I went back to varsity. It was a few weeks later, I got a call from Thabiseng saying, you've made it. You've made it. Your interviews went very well. The only thing, you've applied late as you could have seen.
Yes.
So with the space, there's no space for the following year. It was that was 2010. She said there's no space for 2011 because I was late, which is understandable.
Yes.
He said, like, we can take you in the following year, was 2012.
Okay.
But during that period of 2011, we can offer you a sponsorship to do a master's at VETS. You can choose.
Wait, Bowmans offered you the opportunity to go do your master's? Hi, Bo.
And
you're never leaving this company.
and,
Hi, Bo.
and I grabbed it. I
Yes.
said, I know I'll make it. People started scaring me. Vets will penal beat you. You won't make it there. I was like, I'm going there.
I'm going.
And I was motivated because
now you have articles,
I've
right?
got articles now.
You've got a job. You're right. For 2 years,
And a job.
right.
And the good thing about it, and what helped them was because most of the varsity, the courses, the commercial courses that Vets has, we didn't have them at the University of Limpopo at the time. So when I went to Vets, I remember I picked company law as the major.
Yes.
And then I picked the electives were those which I had not done at the University of Limpopo,
Yes.
telecom, competition law.
So things that were going to challenge you, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
I went for those and I killed them. Within a year, I had my master's from Vets. And then I joined Bowmans in 2012.
Sure, guys. Right. Wow. Okay. So you're at Bowmans now. At the time in your group, were you the only one from University of Limpopo? Or was there someone else?
No, I was the only one.
You were the only one, eh?
I was the only one. I remember in that VEC work, we had another lady was from one of the historically disadvantaged universities. So it was just the two of us. Yeah. She didn't make it, unfortunately. So I was the only one from University of Limpopo or one of these universities. Yeah.
Okay, so you get to Bowmans and you're like, okay, fine, got this big opportunity to be in this law firm. When you get here, obviously, I think most of the CAs that come here, hardworking, most of us, we're like, why we say, get the A-type personality, lawyers are A-type personality, always overachievers, right? Yeah. So you get here, you're like, okay, fine. What is your plan? Like, your plan is, you said you wanted to be a commercial lawyer. So when you come to Bowmans, what is your plan? Are you planning to be a banking and finance lawyer? Are you planning to go to M&A? How do you see your articles going, and how were your articles?
Yeah, so now there was a confusion. Okay, I've got a master's in company law, masters, like M&A type of.
Yes.
And I started off in the banking and finance, banking and financial service regulatory, which is what I'm doing now. Then, so maybe to make it clear, when I started, I had no picture. I didn't know what I was gonna do, or where. So
you were open-minded.
I was open-minded. I was open to whatever will make me happy or I will like. Start off with this one. I like this one.
Okay.
And then I went to M&A to do two. I liked M&A, but not the way I had liked this one.
The banking, yes.
Yeah, and then I had to do dispute resolution, employment or litigation. I begged not to do any of this. I said I want to do either another corporate or go back to this team.
Yes.
And they said no, but for some reasons, my former boss, whom I will never forget, I will be ever grateful, be grateful because he mentored me. He looked after me. Yeah, he negotiated, he did his miracles. I never did dispute resolution.
You didn't do, right. Uskipile like I thought passage of Bowmans.
I don't know, I got special.
Highly favored.
I was so favored. And then he negotiated for me to go back to his team.
Okay.
Being this one.
Yes, banking.
And then I did this one twice. So my rotations, 2 M&A, 2 banking and financial services regulatory. Done.
So unfair, guys. Some of us had to do dispute.
Yeah, I was lucky. And remember, during those 2 years of articles, now there is a question of, will I be retained? Because remember,
it's not guaranteed. It's not a permanent job. Yes.
Will they retain a villager over all these guys? Even there's nothing special about me. Why should they retain me?
But just hold on, Bright. Do you still have those thoughts even after you made it to Big 5 law firm, even after you went to Wits, got a scholarship? You just still feel like there were better people to have the job than you, even at that time as a CA?
I still fear that feeling. And that's because that judgmental is automatical. Given my background, remember, You think people will judge you based on where you're coming from. People judge you based on your accent and how you speak. You think the people would judge you on those bases, and also the fact that you are coming from the University of Limpopo, not from Wits. But again, I put extra effort, even here.
Guys, no, can we just take a break there? That's not true. Bright, you don't put extra effort. I don't actually think that there is anybody as hardworking as you at Bowmans. And I think a lot of people will agree with me.
Exactly.
Like, you work. Guys, I was in a team with Bright. Bright would come here at 6 in the morning. Before everybody. At 9 o'clock, he's still here. And then at 9, when you want to go home, he says, Tiri, where are you going? Like, I'm going home. So I wonder when you say you put extra effort, no. Can we just clarify? You are literally like the most hardworking person I know at Bowmans. And you've been like that consistently. Like even today, I know Otamaka 10. I know this. I'm confident of this. So it was because you felt, okay, there could be better people. So you wanted to prove yourself. Is that it? You wanted to prove that you were worthy of being at Bowmans, or what was it?
Yeah, one thing is I wanted to prove to people that I'm good. So I'm not an ordinary person. Because I knew that if I work very hard, I will do better than some of my peers. I think that was done successfully in my view. And even now, I don't work as much, hard as much as I used to as a junior. Now that I'm a partner, I think I've arrived. I'm joking.
Oh, please.
But the key is I work very hard to do better because I got goals. I want to succeed in life. And success.
But you are succeeding.
Like, through this hard work, extra effort I put.
Yes.
Now I teach myself things. I don't wait for somebody to teach. And when I remember when I joined the Bowmans, the practice, this banking and financial services regulator, was fairly new. There were not a lot of precedents that other guys usually use. Most of the things we were doing from scratch. And I remember my boss, Francisco Koza, would always push, would tell me, Bright, we all learning, we have to learn, we're learning together here. Work very hard. If you can read, you can do it. Teach yourself about these things. And most people I don't think will do enough or did enough. I remember my peers at the time did enough to push that agenda of trying to learn and develop the team. Now I was working very hard, teaching myself things. Even now I'm very independent. I don't rely on other people's. I want to come up with something. I want to do something new. Yeah.
Okay. So you then an associate at Bowmans. So you obviously let's actually take a step back, right? So you then you do your 2 years of articles, right? And where do you want to then get retained at the end of all of that? And what are the prospects of you actually being retained in that team?
Yeah. So after all of them, I said, I don't want to do M&A. I will do banking and financial service regulatory. And that was my intention, even before I could complete my M&A. That's why I was negotiating my way back.
To go back, yes.
Yeah. And I remember this other guy who also wanted to be retained in the team. So it was 2 potential candidates for that team.
And they only had a spot for 1?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I remember the guy was from the University of Pretoria. Very smart guy. But yeah, they took me.
Okay.
And it started to promise they would take me when they took me back to the team. And I realized, I think they like me. Now it's up to me to impress them. Yeah, I worked out.
Okay, then you're an associate at Bowmans now. Permanent job.
Very great.
Permanent job. And how was that experience? How was the experience of being an associate And when did you move on to the next level of being a senior associate?
I was so excited to get to be retained and made associate. Was the most exciting thing.
It's a big deal.
Then I knew I've got a job, unlike being a candidate at it, because
it's a contract.
Had I been kicked out and not been retained, now I was gonna struggle again. I would have to look for a job at the smaller firms, Bright Tibane Inc. and those law firms, smaller, most of them don't do commercial.
Yes,
Again,
exactly,
I would be forced to do criminal or this level of things. So that my dream could have been killed. And I remember again what I said at varsity. The intention was had always been that I want to work for banks, for one of the banks.
Yes.
So I was retaining the right team.
Yes, exactly.
So I was an associate for 2 years.
Okay.
And that's was the sort of criteria at the time. You were to be associate for 2 years before becoming senior associate, and then within that 2 years, I was promoted to senior associate.
Okay. Guys, there's a part I want to really get to, like, very quickly in this video. Like, there's a part that excites me that happened last year, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, then you're a senior associate. How long were you a senior associate for? Like 4, 5 years? I can't remember.
I was a senior associate, for 5 years? And I could have been senior associate for 4 years, but I chose to.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I felt I was not emotionally prepared
to be a partner.
To be a partner.
Okay.
I still had to deal with my own issues. And remember, that idea of wanting to work for a bank died along the way, especially when I was senior associate.
Why?
I was like, I think practice is for me. And then because that's when I was a senior associate, I was getting exposed to people who left their firm or left law firms for banks, and they would tell about the experiences. I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm happy here. And that's when the partnership spirit developed.
And you started working towards it.
I started working towards it.
Yes.
And when I delayed my partnership application, wasn't because I felt like from a technical perspective, I wasn't prepared, but I felt like emotionally I wasn't ready for it. Let me prepare, but I wanted it. And then at the right time, I went for it.
And you got it.
I got it.
And you got it. And how was that experience, Brad? I mean, a lot of us from a junior level, we don't know like the road to partnership and what it takes to be a partner, right? So when you were ready, like officially ready to take on this application and do it and believe to like how was it? Like, what is, not to tell us the process, but I'm just saying for yourself, how was the experience of knowing it was a possibility to become a partner ko Bowmans?
So it's firstly, there are lots of things you have to prove to the relevant committee or to the management of the firm. So I started preparing ahead of the time. That's why I even delayed that one, because I wanted more time to prepare, to think of things that I need to do to close
to
whatever
tick the boxes.
gap.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to apply and fail. I wanted to get it. So I started preparing and preparing, and I knew I had a strong business case. And I was very confident when I applied that I was going to get it. I was very, very confident. And everyone was supporting me. And because people even started questioning question why I'm not applying for it. Like, even as a senior associate, they were like, when are you becoming a partner? And someone like, but I thought you're ready or you're due for. I thought,
Not yet.
Not yet. And so there were people supporting me. And at the right time, I knew it was coming, and I was expecting. I was so excited. Of course, nervous at the same time because you don't know what lies ahead of you as a partner.
I mean, it's a new experience.
It's a new experience,
Yeah.
a totally different experience
Yeah.
to senior associate because now you take more responsibility. You've got people to feed from a work perspective. You take accountability, responsibility if the team is not doing well or the juniors are acquired. But with me, the case was strong. The workflow was great. So there wasn't much of that fear.
Okay. So then, Bright, you get promoted to. This is the part I've been waiting to get to. you get promoted to partner.
Yeah.
That was 2021, ne? 22. I'm so confused now. Where are we now?
We
Like,
are in
22 now.
2022. I got promoted in
20.
Calendar year 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So your promotion was basically.
February.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is you becoming partner 2021.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to understand something just from just understanding it, right? So guys, there's ranks, there's ranks when you go Bowmans. And then after partner, it's what? It's equity partner, right? I don't even know if there's anything after that. Is there? No?
So from a senior associate,
Yes.
you go to salaried partner.
Salaried partner.
Yeah, salaried
Yes.
partner. And then from salaried partner, it's equity partner.
Yes. And then that difference between salaried and equity, how long is it supposed to take, or how long do they predict it will take usually?
Standard-wise, I think it's 2 years.
Okay.
After 2 years, you're eligible. But there are always exceptions in these things.
Can you
So-
tell us why you were the exception?
I don't know. Only God
How guys? Can I just clarify? Bright, you became a partner, a salaried partner at Bowmans in 2021.
Yeah.
A year later, did this guy not get promoted to equity partner? I've never in my life at Bowmans ever heard of that. Like when I saw the promotion list come out, I was like, what's happening? Bright chairman of Bowmans, vele.
Yeah.
Guys, how did that happen, Bright? Like how?
First, when I delayed my application for partnership, I was preparing for myself for the partnership, for me to have a stronger business case. And stronger business case, I'm talking about the business here, because for you to become a partner, you need to have a business.
Your own.
You need to have your clients. You must prove that you've got clients, and you will be profitable to the firm. You're not going to be a partner and become a liability. So I was prepared to be a partner when I was made a partner. So by the time I became a salaried partner, I met the equity partnership criteria.
Even before you were a partner.
Even before, I would think, because of that year of a delay. So it wasn't that much difficult for me to prove that I'm eligible for equity partnership, simply because I was ready and I had everything in order.
And everything that you tick the right boxes.
And
basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And again, the firm fortunately made that exception for me to become equity partner within a year, because there was that business case. And of course, there are other things to be considered. I had all these aspects in order. Your story is like inspirational. Is actually just not even. I can't wait to post this video. Oh my God. I can't wait to post it. But Bright, I think, as you've taken me through your story, there's so many things I didn't even know about your journey. But if there's anything that you would, if there's someone sitting in Limpopo or Go Northwest or wherever that's thinking, oh, I'm a lawyer, and thinking, is this even a possibility? What would you say to that person? Like when you think about your journey, when you think about, I don't think when you were sitting in 2010, you thought 12 years later I would be sitting here being an equity partner in Bowmans. And as you say, I think we can draw a lot of
you can draw a lot from your story, Jorge. First of all, you were a hard worker. First of all, you were driven. You wanted this. But what would you say to someone that is sitting and thinking, is this even the right decision? Should I even do this? And a lot of I think that the conversation that's happening now, that we see on Twitter and all these such social media platforms, is that, like, what's the point of doing law? Because like, you know, and I'm sure 10, 12 years ago, the conversation was still there. Okay, it's difficult to get articles. So how would you motivate someone that wants to do law, loves law, but when they look at their life and they look at their background and their circumstances, they're like, me, nah, I will never get there. What would you say to that person?
Yeah. I think people must just look at me or listen to whatever I said today. Bowmans is one of the biggest law firms in Africa. For somebody like Bright, who is from one of the rural areas or villages in Bushbuckridge, a few kilos away from Kruger National Park, who went to the public preschool, public primary school, public secondary school, and then historically disadvantaged varsity, to land here. It should be possible for everyone. All that is required, it's hard work. It's hard work that got me here. And that's why some people do criticize me. Say, you work too hard, you are overworking yourself. They don't know what got me here. It wasn't waking up, eating, sleeping. I used to work at varsity. I worked very hard. As a candidate attorney, I worked very hard. Associate very hard, senior associate very hard. Do you think that will stop just because I'm a partner?
Never.
No. I've got dreams. I haven't arrived. So it's all about hard work and determination. If you work very hard at the varsity level, you stand a better chance of joining big law firms. So they want good marks. I applied in my final year. Bowmans doesn't take those people. They take, is it?
From second year.
Yeah, I would say generally big law firms in generally, they prefer, is it first? You
second
should
year.
know. Second year, third year, right. I was doing my final year after the
first semester.
First semester. It's like I applied around June or July. Right. And because my marks were good, they still took me. And here I am. So it's all about hard work. If you work very hard, doesn't matter the background. You can be a lawyer, a partner in one of these big law firms.
Guys, yeah, I think like everything that needed to be said has been said today. And to be honest with you, Bright, I would not close this any other way. You heard it from someone that walked the journey. It was hard work. It wasn't, luck. It wasn't because his father was Smang's business director at this place. It was literally just hard work. And for me, like, I take that back and I apply it in my own life. Guys, it doesn't matter where you come from. Your background means nothing. When they look at that piece of paper at Bowmans and see 90s and whatever, they don't care whether you come from a village in Limpopo. What they care about is whether this person is willing to put in the hard work, and when you do, people will recognize you for that. Bright, thank you so much. I've been wanting to do this video for so long, and I'm so inspired. I'm gonna chase at 12 today because I'm inspired. But thank you so much. I really hope this video becomes a tool for someone that has been questioning whether this journey is for them. I hope that someone that is thinking about studying law, whether you are in secondary school or you're in varsity, I really hope that Bright's journey can keep you going and keep you moving. And this is one of the reasons why I even have this channel, to motivate other people that don't see a future in law, because there really, really is a future in law, and that if you really want it bad enough, you will get it. I always say this to people, but here is a prime example. As usual, guys, please like, subscribe, comment, share a video, and Bright I'm famous from this video. Cut blank CNN, BBC, everything. I want to see you there. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Bright. This was lovely. Thank you, guys. Bye.